Hey guys, 4Pause here, and in today's video we'll take a look at how to choose the optimal Dorans item. So two of the most typical starts you'll see in competitive play for AD bruisers is either a Dorans Blade or a Dorans Shield. However, you should have noticed that the Dorans item changes from game to game, but what factors are considered when the choice is made between the two? After a nerf to both the flat health and health regen offered by Dorans Shield, it is no longer a mandatory first buy in the top lane. In my opinion, Dorans Shield should be your go-to item only when you're facing a champion who is auto-attack reliant. In example against Renekton, Dorans Shield will be very effective. When he auto-attacks you into an empowered Ruthless Predator, he will have landed 4 consecutive auto-attacks. And because of the block passive from Dorans Shield, you will save on 32 health during every trade where he does that. However, it's not that great to pick up against an AD caster, in example Kha'Zix, as they're not as reliant on auto-attacks to combo damage, so the block passive doesn't get put to great use. And lastly, if you're playing a mega tank, for example Mundo, then regardless of what situation you're put in, you'll probably want to build the shield. The other option, Dorans Blade, is kind of an iffy one nowadays. Because of the sustain from Dorans Blade has been converted from flat health on hit to lifesteal, certain champions no longer scale well with it. In example, a Jax can put that lifesteal to great use throughout the game, whilst a Kennen cannot. Typically you should build the Dorans Blade when you think you can maximise the lifesteal component. For example, if your champion has an inbuilt attack speed steroid, or if you're auto-attack reliant like Shyvana. Also, when you find yourself in a favourable matchup and your plan is to kill your opponent in the lane phase, then Dorans Blade will offer some great combat stats to get you going. Since the blade only gives you 10 less flat health than Dorans Shield, when facing an AP in the lane it is perfectly fine to pick up this item. One last thing to not forget about is the alternative starting items, in example Cloth and Longsword, as these are still viable in some contexts. In example, Akali can happily start with Cloth 5 pot and Riven with Longsword 3 pot. So I hope this video was helpful guys. Choosing your optimal starting item can heavily influence your lane phase and how the game carries out. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like down below and consider subscribing for future content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.